de Rosas. What are oxidation numbers? Oxidation number is the amount of atoms being oxidized in an element or compound. In other terms, it indicates the loss of electrons in an atom in a chemical compound. Reduction is a decrease in oxidation number, and oxidation is an increase in oxidation number. A way to remember this is using oil rig. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. This refers to the loss or gain of electrons in an atom. There are certain rules when using oxidation numbers, such as rule number 1. A pure element by itself will always equal to an oxidation state of 0. Elements such as O3, P4, H2, and C4 have an oxidation state of 0 until a charge or another element is added. So, an element by itself will always equal to an oxidation state of 0. Rule number 2. The sum of an oxidation number in a neutral compound will remain 0. So, for example, H2O, CO3, and H3, and the formula for sugar, C12H22 and O11. We'll get a little further into detail with this as I go through the rules. I'll come back to this. Rule number 3. The atom in an ion is equal to the charge of the ion. So if hydrogen has a positive charge, so its oxidation number is +1. Chlorine has a negative charge, so its oxidation number is -2. Whereas magnesium has a positive charge, but it has an oxidation number of +2. And oxygen has a negative charge with an oxidation of -2. +2, -2. Rule number 4. When hydrogen is combined with a nonmetal, its oxidation state is +1. H2O. Hydrogen is combined with oxygen. And since we have two hydrogen atoms, and the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, we know that it equals to +2. Because it states that the oxygen state is +1 if hydrogen is combined with a nonmetal, and oxygen is a nonmetal, its oxygen number of oxidation state of hydrogen is +1. So it equals to +2. Oxygen has its own rule where oxygen is already set as -2. So +2 hydrogen combined with -2 oxygen will cancel out and give us 0 as the oxidation number, as shown below right here. Rule number 5. When hydrogen is combined with a metal, its oxidation number is -1. So calcium and hydrogen, 2. We have two hydrogen atoms that are combined with calcium. Therefore, we have two hydrogen atoms multiplied by the negative charge, -1. Oxidation number of hydrogen is -1, which equals to -2. So now that we have hydrogen that is equal to -2, we add -2 because of the oxidation number of hydrogen plus the oxidation number of calcium to cancel out to give us 0. Ca plus 2, H -2 equals oxidation number of 0. Rule number 6, Group 1A will always have an oxidation number of +1, as shown in this column, first column, +1. Rule number 7. Group 2A will always have an oxidation number of +2, as shown in column 2. This will always have a +2. Rule 8. Halogens or group 7A will always have an oxidation number of -1. Combined with oxygen, it will have an oxidation number of +1. So we have one chlorine atom and one oxygen atom. The oxidation number of chlorine would equal to +1 because it is combined with oxygen, therefore it has an oxidation number of +1, and the set rule is oxygen is -1. So we have Cl, chlorine, +1, and O, oxygen, -2, which would equal to oxidation number of -1. And this is the oxidation number would equal to -1 over here. Rule number 9. Oxygen will usually have an oxidation number of -2. So nitrogen and oxygen. We have one nitrogen atom and one oxygen atom. The oxidation number of oxygen is equal to -2. Because we already know that the rule states that oxygen has an oxidation number of -2. So if we have one oxygen atom multiplied by -2 because of the oxidation number of oxygen, that leaves us with -2. Nitrogen must cancel out the oxidation number of oxygen because it is a neutral compound, so we have nitrogen +2 and oxygen -2, and that gives us 0. There are exceptions in oxidation numbers. Oxygen usually has an oxidation number of -2, which is peroxide, and then we have peroxide H2O2 and the compound F2O, which will make the oxidation number of oxygen into -1. Hydrogen will usually have an oxidation number of +1 unless it becomes a metal hydride, and then it will have an oxidation number of -1. Chlorine will usually have an oxidation state of -1 unless it combines with the element oxygen or fluorine, and the oxygen state will vary depending on the compound.